Cool. So this is good. So I guess thank you everyone for being here tonight. It is good for me personally to be here participating in the Toronto Sitecore user group. I am based in Ottawa, so not too far, not too close. And I guess the initial idea was to do it in person, to actually go to Toronto, to meet Nabil, to meet the team, we together in the same place with the gang. But however, of course, due some constraints we all have, we are doing it online just fine in very 2023, especially as our very normal post-pandemic way of life over the past, I guess, 3 years. Our world, the world we used to know, has again changed significantly. And maybe we had seen in the past bigger changes, like the internet when it came, digital services, mobile devices, and so on and so on. But the shift we had with the pandemic does presents us today with this new normal. So it's very normal for us to be just meeting online. So it sets a new bar for digital customer experiences. Um, we have people, we have companies looking to keep their work remote only. Uh, of course, there are some exceptions. There are some companies that are calling their employees back to the office and so on. But in reality, at the end, what we have is more and more people from home. People are more than ever mostly at home. They are studying, working, living, doing everything from home. So, what that brings to us as Sitecore experts, it brings us uh, clients with consumers who expect to have an easy or easier online experience. Um, they want to have rapid online purchases. They want to have a quick customer service resolution. They want to have everything provided online and provided fast. So we had this explosion of e-commerce over the past few years, and now more than ever, consumers expect full life cycle customer experiences, meaning that they want to see everything, every device, and every possible interaction they are going to have with the companies they interact with. So if you are still running your website or your projects or everything you are doing, like it's still December 2019, you are definitely a digital dinosaur. At least your probably your customers, your clients are seeing you like that. So in this post-pandemic new normal, it is important for us to keep our focus on what they are looking for. So cross-channel, cross-device customer experiences that are fast, relevant, and reliable. And that's where Sitecore comes to the game. And that's where the idea of design thinking also comes to play. So let me get started here. Um, Design thinking. So this is my topic for today. More specifically on ways to apply design thinking techniques to Sitecore projects. And despite that, it can be something very related to digital strategy mainly. Those techniques, they can be also applied to different moments, such as the planning phase, the definition of your technical solution, always having Sitecore in mind. So design thinking workshops, I think they are an excellent way to bring people with very different perspectives together. Um, and it does give them the opportunity to provide us with a creative input into the scoping and the design of Sitecore-based projects. Design thinking is an approach that I have incorporated and use it with my clients to plan and design Sitecore-based websites. And I incorporated input in those many workshops from different teams and functions, I would say, within their business. So those that are also involved on the different um, parts or phases of the use of the CMS, they're also involved. So it's folks working with the content life cycle, like content authors, admins, digital marketing manager, and sometimes even their customers. Those are all welcome people to such workshops. Because when we have this diversity of opinions, um, and we take a more collaborative mindset, this approach leads us to definitely better results that are more human-centered. So in this presentation, we'll go through some of the main steps, techniques that I have used in running a design thinking workshop for a Sitecore project. So let me just go to the next slide. So just a little bit about myself. I'm Eduardo Moraes. I was in the past awarded 6 times as a Sitecore MVP, one less than the bill. And I am a certified design thinking practitioner by the Luma Institute. During my career, I've been working with multiple different digital experience platforms or DXPs. Um, I worked on with a handful of different implementation partners, helping them to run their implementation, dev, technical teams, and also run projects using different platforms, such as Sitecore, CQ5, which is now Adobe AEM, Umbraco, and a few other platforms, even SharePoint. With some partners, I worked on as a full-time employee in the past. Most recently, I've been working on the C2C contracts through my own company, Strate Technology, which is just a one-man show with myself. And I help our customers with their digital experience platform, mainly Sitecore, of course, in making use of human-centered design thinking techniques to run workshops where they can brainstorm creative ways to improve their websites and their services. So today's content is mostly about the following topics. I'll be covering what is human-centered design thinking, and also its use and its importance, how it can help companies to brainstorm and find solutions around common uh, issues on their Sitecore projects, and some examples of design thinking techniques that can be used to help us to rethink the digital experience offered to customers using the internet, and also reshape the roadmap or shape the roadmap for a Sitecore project that is just starting. Um, what is design thinking? Design thinking gives us an approach with a fully proven set of tools and techniques to facilitate problem solving. These tools and techniques allow us to run workshops, brainstorm solutions in different and creative ways, and it's mainly about getting people involved, sharing ideas, working together, and proposing solutions from different perspectives. Uh, One thing that I really like about design thinking is that it encourages the participation of everyone in that group. Um, so it is really a very participatory way of running a workshop. No one is left out. If you are in the group, you are invited to share your opinion and propose any new ideas that come to your mind. And you really, if you are going through the exercises, you'll be doing that. So everyone is heard. Normally, when you have just a regular workshop being run without those techniques, sometimes someone will just stay quiet all over the workshop because their boss is there and they don't want to speak or they don't want to mention anything. So I've used these techniques with different kinds of corporation, both in Canada and the United States. Um, I used it on digital transformation projects, and that was done recently on a few, not that recent, but a few years back in a Canadian Crown Corporation. I also use that to review the website of a California-based company. And the workshops we went through with them, they helped us to, one, better identify their audience and manage the best ways to reorganize thousands and thousands of content pages into more user-friendly categories, um, and also to review which elements of the website were being seen as working better or best, and the areas needing improvement. Also, it was very fun to run. Design thinking always involves a bit of fun during the workshops. Um, and using this for a number of different ideation and design, approaches or ways to do your project in the past, this makes me think that the traditional way used before was more maybe process and the requirements oriented. So in the past, when I would go to a client without bringing this, tools, techniques, I would be really focused more on a set of probably requirements that was given to me by a BA or so and so on, and just narrowly look into that. So it was mostly about the how, the what, and sometimes keeping it a very narrow technical perspective. Design, I think, is about rethinking that. So, what we are doing, why we are doing it from a human perspective, it means putting yourself in different shoes, having different participants involved in the workshops and trying to bring new perspectives whenever possible. So the biggest benefit here is breaking down the narrow, siloed view of what we do and setting new boundaries for what we could be doing. That's why it's one of the best ways to evolve ideas and use it to help your client to think about the best ways to get from their Sitecore implementation what they are really looking for, because it's definitely a more human-centered approach. Design thinking is nothing new. It has been around since the 60s, with many studies and books published along the years. In the 2000s, it came, I guess, um, very popular with applications in the business world. And it was around that time that the Stanford University started teaching design thinking. So turning it into a real mainstream approach for problem solving. With all this visibility, it also became better organized around frameworks. Um, I use mainly the framework provided by the Luma Institute, where I was certified, but there are a few other ones available as well. They have many things in common, but I do like this one better because it also gives me all the different templates I need to work online with Mural and so on. I have no uh, link to the Luma Institute, so this is not marketing for them. It's just the tool that I prefer to use when working on design thinking workshops. So how it can help? So a good implementation for a Sitecore project or a digital experience project in general, whether Sitecore or not, is about providing the right information, the right services at the right place in the right time to our customers. It cannot be static. It needs to evolve with the constant change we have in the digital world. Social networks change, mobile devices change, and the way we sell and buy products and request and provide services is also changing. So, um, digital experience platform solution needs to overcome the overall common problems to address the change that um, our clients are looking for their future. So design thinking is a way to facilitate this process of looking into the future. Uh, think about the future. An important element of design thinking is the philosophy behind it. So the underlying philosophy and the mindset that emphasizes the value of having a diversity of contributions from a wide group of stakeholders and users. While traditional user research and requirements gathering for digital projects. They do stress the value of speaking to a diverse set of people. Design thinking actually comes from a very different angle. It says that every contribution an idea has a potential value. It embraces the chaos of gathering feedback, uh, and despite it may sound a little bit conflicting or crazy on structure, it changed that role of the expert in the room to be a true facilitator who avoids influencing contributions, which means we are Sitecore experts. We know what Sitecore can do, etc., etc. But when we are running such workshops, of course, we are helping them to clarify any Sitecore related questions from a technical perspective or not. But we are also not uh, letting that stop them to come up with the ideas that they have in mind. Let them talk, let them speak, let them put that ideas in paper, because that will help us to shape maybe not just what is going to be implemented right now, but also in the future as a roadmap for that particular client. So it's a bottom up rather than a top down process. So design thinking involves three main phases, or at least this particular framework that I use. There are some other frameworks with more phases, and they vary from 3 to 4 to 7. So, using this framework, we have a collection of different techniques. So, I have actually a game card with about 50 something cards, where each one is a different technique to be used to run a particular workshop. And they are divided into those three major phases: looking, understanding, and making. So, look and understand the current state helps us to define the problem. What is the current problem? Identify the issues and then analyze them to discern the main priorities. Map the future state. Uh, it will help us to come up with new ideas and then uh, develop them by prototyping the solution and putting together a roadmap or a solution plan if it's more from a technical perspective. And making can also include validating this idea with modeling, prototyping, and testing the ideas to see if they work and whether they can be put into action. Nabil, I saw the alert saying that we only have 2 minutes left in this meeting. So should we jump into a new one?
No, I'm trying to check that because I have upgraded. So just yeah, you can continue. I'll report back.
Okay. So let me go to the next slide. So the techniques. The techniques, they may vary according to the problems we're trying to solve. Having my set about 36, the ones that I mainly use. And those tools are provided by the Loom Institute, as I said, and I really like to use them to run the workshops, brainstorm ideas, and prepare my deliverables. They are based on human-centered principles, and some of them are more popular, I always use, and used also as well for more traditional design firms. And some of them are really, really specific to the design thinking set. So the initial immersion is really about identifying the problem, why our client is using Sitecore, what is the problem they are trying to solve with Sitecore, what are the issues that they are currently facing. So why those are not working with their existing solutions. So maybe they have already Sitecore in place, but for some reason they can't use personalization or something's not working. What are the things we know that we are doing right? So in this case, what are the things that our client knows they are doing right in terms of their current DXP or their current Sitecore implementation, and areas where Sitecore is working really well, the opportunities that they could leverage. So, for example, if they're not doing email marketing automation or A/B testing or anything related to that. And this initial phase is also about having the key actors identified for your workshops. So let's get into the techniques. So those cards that I have screenshots there, they are cards provided by the Lumen Institute, as I said, and each one of them will have
Sorry,
a set of
Eduardo.
instructions for each one of the exercises.
Sorry to interrupt. It seems there is a problem here in Zoom, and I'm gonna just
Mhm.
share a new link. When this ends, we can just jump on the other link.